All right, everyone, come on in. Welcome to All Things AuD. I'm Dr. Natalie Phillips.
And I'm Dr. Hannah Galloway.
And I'm Whitney.
And we are going to talk about our YouTube channel first. We're doing pretty well. Let me just get it up and have Dr. Galloway and Whitney talk about it. All right.
Yes, so here is our YouTube, 64 subscribers, so we keep getting more, which is exciting. We did have a patient who's a prospective patient he has scheduled, but he was commenting on our videos, so that's really cool to have some patients, check us out before they even come into our office. So you can follow us here and you can subscribe, and then you'll get notifications when we have a new episode. We try to be here every week, but next week we will not be here because it's Thanksgiving. So you could come here and find an old episode to watch.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. So our last week here is just our last week here about Let's Bling It Up. We had talked to Owsy and Deck McLaughlin. And I was looking at this, like we have 1,200 views on our Audiology booth setup. And it's not very long, but this is when we set it up and we just kind of did a time lapse. It's really kind of cool. And then these other ones have, well, this one is just a welcome from us, but then this one is about how to remove moisture from your hearing devices. 73 views, which is pretty good. If you go to playlist, you should be able to find some other, I don't want to press this button here because, well, maybe let's just try it and see what happens. Like dizziness and vertigo. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I think another one kind of comes up, but then you can kind of also look over here on the right and just look at some of the other things that we've talked about in the dizziness and vertigo area here. So you could easily kind of look at some of the other shows that we've done about, I love this one, what is that echo in my head, things like that. So you can always kind of take a look at some of our other episodes and just kind of go from there. So just think it's kind of interesting. But anyway, I wanted to always start off with the YouTube channel just because, just to remind people that they can kind of always catch us and some of our previous shows on YouTube. Okay, so today, as Thanksgiving is coming up next week, we decided that we wanted to kind of talk about things that we're thankful for. So I think what we'll do is we'll talk about things that we're thankful for. And also, if you are joining us, put it in the comments, whether you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube or one of our groups that we stream into, what you're thankful for coming up, thinking about Thanksgiving. And then we'll have our next tip or our next topic would be like our Thanksgiving tips for people that may have hearing loss. So let's go with Whitney and go backwards about what you're thankful for. And we'll start there.
So something that I'm really thankful for, if you know anybody who's ever been in grad school or if you've been in grad school yourself, I think it's a very unique experience. And typically you're in a smaller group with people who are going through the same things that you're going through, which would be your classmates. And so one thing that changes, at least in my program, when you become a third year is you go off campus. And one thing I'm really thankful for is how my class has really tried to stay connected, despite, now not meeting each other, up with each other every day, going to classes. We have a little Facebook group where we all share what we're doing, whether it's, audiology related or if it's just life, our lives in general. And I just think that's so cool to have such good friendships and just to have people who really resonate with your passions. And so I would definitely say even though I don't see them every day and I really miss them, I really am so happy that this journey in my life has brought me them. And it's also brought me other great people like these two. So yeah, that's what I'm thankful for.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. What about you, Hannah?
Um, One thing that I'm thankful for is being able to help multiple people in one family. So we had a patient recently who came in, and I started seeing her as a patient first. Then her brother got hearing aids and her mom got hearing aids, and I see her other sister, and they call me the family audiologist. And that is just so cool to be able to talk to one patient and then, ask how your other patient's doing. Or, a lot of times the daughter and the mom come in together. And so that's been something that I think is really unique. And when they were here last time, they were like, we love that you see the whole family. And so that's something that's really cool that I'm thankful for. The ability to help people with their hearing, but then also like a referral is the best kind of compliment, because it's like, you helped me and now can you help my brother? So we have a couple families where we see multiple members, but that's one that sticks out and that I'm very thankful for this year.
Very cool. I like that. Yeah, and if you're joining in or you're watching this on the replay, it's always good to have to practice gratitude. I know that a lot of people that I know do gratitude journals. I know that with Thanksgiving, it kind of comes up, whether you like it or not, once a year. But also just to kind of practice gratitude throughout the year is very healthy for you. But so that's why I love that we're sharing what we're thankful for, and it's not just one thing. Like I'm sitting here listening to both Hannah and then also Whitney, and just thinking, oh my gosh, like I've got so many that I could probably list right now. But the one thing that I am thankful for, is that we actually have been in practice for 3 years. So Dr. Galloway and I opened our practice. I would say like September, October was when we were in these walls, and just like nothing was on the walls. We didn't have any furniture. We were sitting on the ground. I brought a table and chairs in from my house, and literally we had our computers open and we ordered lunch, and we were just sitting here planning and brainstorming and doing all kinds of stuff. And now 3 years, and then we finally opened our doors officially like at the beginning of November in 2021. So we've made 3 years. And so I'm super thankful that, looking back, like I can't believe the 3 years have gone, but we have been in practice for 3 years now, a little over 3 years now, that we're getting to the end of November. So I'm super thankful for that. We should have celebrated year one and year two, just with the hustle and bustle. So thankful for the 3 years that we've been open. And also, it's not just Dr. Galloway and I, but the staff here. If you've seen or met our front desk staff, Effie or Susan, and then as we have rotating students come in, Whitney is with us right now, but just super thankful for the people that help this practice run, but then also our referrals and also our patients who trust in us. And so again, super thankful. I can't believe it's been 3 years.
I know.
Time flies.
So funny fact, our first year we were open, the anniversary, I was on maternity leave.
That's why we didn't celebrate.
I wasn't even here. That's why we didn't celebrate. You were here.
Okay, so so that's why. Oh, look, we have our other student that we just had, Mary Kate. Saying hello. Thanks for tuning in. She says she loves Effie and Susan. We miss you, Mary Kate. Thanks for tuning in and commenting as well. So we love that you're here with us. So year one, and then year two, I don't have any excuse. And then now year three, we're going to announce it. Like we've made 3 years. So super
year two, I think we were just in the thick of like getting the billing all straightened out, and we probably were too mad to celebrate.
Exactly.
There's always, there's got to be like some little hiccups along the way to keep things interesting. So
I know, it just kind of rolls around and you're just like, oh yeah. Okay. So then we're going to move on to Thanksgiving tips. So I'll start and we'll kind of go around here. So Thanksgiving tips for people that have a hearing loss. I'm going to kind of go with the one that I like when I fit hearing aids, I tell people to, whether it's using your phone, if your hearing aids are Bluetooth to your phone, or we have little remote microphone clips that are just like lapel clips. But I like, if you're planning a dinner or you're going out to a restaurant and you're having a hard time hearing, I like being able to use a remote microphone to be able to either put it in the middle of the table or pass it down to the end of the table, depending on how your table is set up. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about real quickly is, if it's a long skinny table, if it's a round table, there are different ways that a remote microphone can help you hear better. And what it does is, imagine like you're just taking your microphone off your hearing aid and you're just putting it in the middle of the table, let's say, for example. So what you'll do is shorten the distance between the microphone and when it reaches your ear. And so this remote microphone or your phone, if you put it in the middle of the table with it on, then when people are talking, as soon as their voice touches that microphone, it goes directly to your hearing aid by direct audio input. And so I think that using something like that can help you hear better, can help you stay attentive in some of the conversations. And I just think that it's a really good idea. If you hear me talking about your phone, then there is a feature, typically more on Apple devices than Androids, but I feel like there is a way to do it on Androids. My other two cohorts can probably just verify that, or the remote microphone. But on an Apple device, if you pull down, if you have a newer device, you would pull down from the right top hand corner and you have the control center that comes out. And you look at that little ear that comes down. And then if you touch that ear, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it'll say live listen. And so if you touch that live listen, you have to wait a second, and then it engages. Then it turns your phone microphone into that remote microphone, which then you could put your phone in the middle of the table or get your phone all the way down to the end of the table, and that would serve as your remote microphone. Or again, if you had that little lapel clip, it would do the same thing. So that's one of my tips. I'm going to pass it over, or actually before we pass it over, if you either Hannah or Whitney has anything to add to that.
I do. So this is kind of random, but I have a patient right now who's has a studio in her house, and she teaches classes out of it, art classes. And so she was thinking about using a Connect clip or some sort of a remote microphone. And I saw something on Facebook in one of my audiology groups that was a teacher using a remote microphone. And instead of sitting it directly on the table where there's lots of clatter with like silverware and plates and all that, they put a stuffed animal on the table, and then the stuffed animal had it clipped to like a collar on its neck. So that way all the clattery sounds would get absorbed by the stuffed animal. So it's almost as if you put the remote mic hovering above the crowd at the table, which would also work. You could like suspend it from the ceiling or something. But I thought the stuffed animal was kind of a neat idea because for kids, the kids would pass the stuffed animal in the classroom as they were talking, like whatever they were sharing. So it was soft and it's like their little buddy, but then it also functionally for the person with hearing loss is absorbing a lot of that extra clattery sound from the surface of the table. So I thought that was a really smart.
That's neat.
And in the classroom, it was a little dinosaur. It was the dinosaur from Toy Story. And he just had a stool and he sat on it. And so he was just like a student in the class. And all the kids knew that he was wearing a little remote mic. So that could be translated to our Thanksgiving dinner tables.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's a great idea.
The mic. I took a picture of the screenshot and I sent it to my patient. It's like this Toy Story dinosaur wearing a dog collar, wearing a mic, but genius for like art supplies, everything clattering on the table and, like paintbrushes and water and just a whole bunch of different things that would kind of contaminate the sound. So
super good.
I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's just a good thing for remote mic placement. If you're using it a lot at home at the dining table or something, coming up with like a little mascot or somebody that, can wear the mic for you. And everybody knows that you can, pass it around and talk or just get rid of some of that extra sound.
Very cool.
Great idea.
Awesome tip. All right. Anything
Okay,
else
I
to
guess
add,
I'll go
Whitney?
No, but I love that. That's a really good idea.
For a classroom, especially, you know, to introduce it to kids of like, this helps the teacher hear. So we're going to do our share and tell, or, you know, show and tell, and we pass this around and everybody talks, you know, to it or whatever. So I thought that was a cool way of introducing it.
You could like get
different.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I think mine's a little bit delayed.
I was gonna say you could get like different stuffed animals for the holidays, and it could be like your little centerpiece. You could get a little cookie.
Or I was thinking like where you put the mistletoe when you said it was hanging down. Yeah,
it's just cute. I love that.
Or clip it to the stuffing, or clip it to the turkey.
Yeah, most things have like either a little lapel clip or like a neck loop, so you could get creative with what you're doing with it, because it is going to be, you know, all around one big table usually. So that's kind of a cool thing you could experiment with.
I like that. All right, what's your tip?
Okay, so for my tip, a lot of our patients use hearing aids, and they use an app with their hearing aid. And so my tip is, before you go to Thanksgiving dinner, make sure your app is working and your hearing aid, you know, programming is coming up, and familiarize yourself with what you have there. So if you get sat at the dinner table and you're like, oh, I can't hear this person on my right, or, you know, whatever, you can go into your app and actually make adjustments per your seating arrangements. So this is just a little tool you have in your pocket already. But if you're not using it regularly, it might be worth getting it out and just revisiting it so that you're confident and comfortable about how to use it at Thanksgiving. And then, you know, like you were saying, the live listen or something like that, that could be used from your phone too, just depending on what the setup is. But that's my tip, to check everything ahead of time, make sure it's working, make sure you know how to adjust, and kind of what tools you have on your app there.
Awesome. Good tip. Good tip. All right, Whitney.
So very similar, just kind of making sure you're starting yourself off on the right foot. Making sure your hearing aids are clean. And I know that kind of sounds obvious, but you want to make sure that your hearing aids are in the best condition that they can be. So, you know, taking off those domes, looking at those little wax guards, those love to get plugged with wax. And if you have wax in there, it's just going to block sound from entering your ears. So changing those out. You can also, you know, give our clinic a call, see if maybe we can get you in for a hearing aid cleaning. It just makes sure that your hearing aids are working in the best condition that they can be, just in time for the holidays. So we are open next week on Monday and Tuesday. So if you are thinking maybe you might be due, just give our clinic a call and we'll try to get you in.
Awesome. Great tips. Okay. So that being said, just a few things to wrap up our show today. We are, as you heard from Whitney, we're closed on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, which then takes us into December, you guys. So like the last month already afterwards. So pay attention to our social media, because we actually are going to be doing a social media campaign, and we'll just talk about it here just so that you guys know. But every one of us is decorating a stocking, and like we used to do, we are going to have people vote on those stockings. So we'll be posting pictures, and everybody in the office gets to pick their favorite nonprofit that they want to play for. And so as the votes come in, our office is going to be donating to different nonprofit organizations, how they win. So a certain amount of money will go to the top winner and all the way down. We'll have 5 stockings here. So pay attention to our social media starting in December. We're going to be posting pictures of our decorated stockings, so you don't want to miss that. And we won't be here next week for Thanksgiving, but we will definitely be back in December. Gosh, that sounds weird. For the following week. So we're glad. We hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. If you are watching and you want to add some Thanksgiving tips, or you want to share with others what you're thankful for, please feel free to make comments in any one of the platforms that we are going live or that you see our show on. So hopefully you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you in December.
Bye. Thank you.